Our good friend from ESPN, Tom Luginbill, is joining us. Lugs, what's up, man?
How you guys doing? Let me assume something. Are we talking about the Chargers powder blues?
Blaine?
Yes.
Yeah. So the Chargers powder blues and then the Bengals icy whites.
Dude, nothing beats the Lance Allworth powder blues with the yellow pants and the white bolt with the blue outline down the pants, right? And then you go the yellow face mask.
Ooh.
I mean, dude, that was the best uniform I think the NFL.
I don't know if you're describing the Chargers or what one of the Avengers is wearing. Like it sounds like
same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Exactly right.
You guys are too young to even know who Lance Allworth is.
Bambi?
Is it
Bambi?
Come on now.
Come on, Tom.
Okay, I'll give you John Jefferson.
What Cone said.
Cone's secretly 600 years old.
Man, I used to tell Mom I was sick so I could stay home and watch the NFL films.
Yeah,
you know?
Cone was
really dialing it up. You know, 72 Dolphins.
All right.
We were in there.
I retract my statement.
This is the same guy who does a segment called "Get Off My Lawn."
Yeah, aka the Silver Surfer.
Yes, that's true.
I love doing "Get Off My Lawn" segments. I feel very strongly about those. I'm with you, David.
Don't worry, we got one coming up. Here, Tom. Here, very, very short.
No, we don't.
Think I forgot.
No, we don't.
Don't think I forgot.
The whole world knows.
You're getting exposed.
Yeah. No.
You're getting exposed to everybody.
Oh.
All right. Tom, got some great matchups this weekend. You look all across the country. I want to start off in the SEC, though. This A&M at Mississippi State game. You look at the way it went down for Mississippi State at LSU. I mean, you had more dropped receptions than a bad telephone company. Had the huge drop punt. They gave LSU a ton of momentum. And really, Mississippi State lost that game. It didn't feel like LSU went out and won it because most teams do lose games. They don't win them. When I look at Mississippi State coming back home, with the way A&M has struggled for explosive plays, even with Max Johnson, but now Anaya Smith out for the season, one of the few vertical threats you could put out there and be able to take the top off to threaten the defense. Can A&M score enough points this weekend in Starkville to have a chance to win this game?
No, I'm certainly not convinced of it. And I think the other X factor in this game, and if you guys have ever been there, I've been broadcasting America for 10 years now in college stadiums. And I can tell you without question, when you get backed up into the closed end zone of that stadium at Mississippi State, you cannot hear yourself breathe. You can't hear yourself think. And so the X factor in all this for Texas A&M on offense is don't get behind the chains and don't get backed up in your own area because your communication is going to suffer. And I think that with the issues and the woes we've seen from Texas A&M on offense, so much of what they're going to be doing is going to be about communication. It's going to be about execution because they're going to have to deal with a hostile environment. And when you have an offense on the other sideline, to your point, if Mississippi State gets back to the order of business, starts catching the football well, I think they did that better last week versus Bowling Green, the quarterback is so hot and can make every throw on the field that if this thing somehow turns into some type of a track meet, I don't see how Texas A&M can keep up.
Yeah, I don't either, unless they're just able to move the line of scrimmage at will with A-Chain and the guys out of the backfield. But, I mean, Zach Arnett's one of the best young DCs in the country, and that Mississippi State defense is awfully physical, and they can run and put you in third. And they are big. They can put you in predictable passing downs on third down, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. Staying in the SEC West. Speaking of A&M, big win over Arkansas. Arkansas, when you look at some of the play calling there, I was surprised Kendall got as conservative as he did about halfway through the second quarter on to the fourth quarter. I know you want to put a lot on KJ, but they didn't attack the perimeter enough, in my opinion. When you look at Alabama coming to town, all right, Alabama struggled against Texas, but were able to win that game. I said that was probably the worst thing that could happen to a team like Arkansas for the next big road game that Alabama plays. Bama opens as a 17-point favorite. I know they're down a starting corner at Arkansas. I know the secondary has been getting run through like a sieve when it talks about guys being able to get to that second level. Even going back to the South Carolina game, Spencer Rattler missed a lot of throws vertically that could have been big plays early in that game. Do you think that line is about right? And how much of a chance do you give Sam Pittman and the Hogs at home this weekend against the Crimson Tide?
I actually give them a fairly decent chance. I think that number is a little bit high. I'm looking to see if two things have vastly improved for Alabama. Have they come up with some perimeter weapons, because they've gotten healthier at wideout since the Texas game, that can break the huddle and stretch the field and get over the top. That's number one. And number two, after the last 2 weeks of scrimmages that Alabama has had, how improved are they in the offensive line? Because they're going to be playing 7 for Arkansas that's physical and will get after you, doesn't back down from anybody. And one of the issues in that Texas game was that Alabama became so one-dimensional because not only could they not run the football, they stopped attempting to run the football. And as a result, Jahmyr Gibbs was the leading receiver in that matchup. So I don't think it bodes well for Alabama to go on the road and not be able to run the football in this contest. If they're able to run the ball on Arkansas, Arkansas could be in trouble because now you've got a play-action pass game that is going to open up big time for Alabama. So to me, it's more of a projection here. I want to see, I don't think we learned all that much about Alabama in the last couple of weeks. We're going to learn more about those two areas, the offensive line and perimeter weapons against Arkansas. Now you're on the road, and obviously you're going to take Bryce Young on the road because you know how he handles the environment. He's just so poised. I'll tell you guys, and it's going to be interesting to see how mature Arkansas is. I don't know if I can recall in recent memory a college football game hinging on one play that completely devastated the other team the way that Arkansas play did at the goal line last week. And they can't afford to allow that game to beat them twice because that's a heck of a hangover. That they never recovered the entire rest of the game. It was as if that one play decided the entire outcome in that exact moment.
Yeah. Well, it is good you have a big-time opponent the next week. It's able to take your mind off of that big loss and give you a chance to redeem it, a la A&M being able to beat Miami after losing to App State. All right, we're back with Tom Luginbill from ESPN. Cone, you have some unbelievable hard-hitting.
Let's go to the ACC. DJ Uiagalelei finally showed us a performance that we've been waiting to see from him for Clemson. Big win in overtime over Wake Forest. Now you get an undefeated top 10 NC State coming to town. Was it a 34-35 game home win streak on the line for Clemson? How do you think this one will play out, Tom?
I think it all depends on whether or not this guy can stack 2 games on top of another. I really believe that. If DJ regresses, Clemson will be in trouble. If he's able to stack another game on top of what he did on the road versus a very good Wake team, this is a defining moment for DJ Uiagalelei. Now, if you really watch that game, and I have Wake and Florida State this week, so I dissected that Wake Clemson game this past week. If you really watch that game, there were moments where DJ kind of looked like DJ. But then at other moments when he had to answer the toll, he did. And it was impressive. And I think the most important thing to note, and this has to continue this week too for Clemson, for the first time in a long time, he actually had some guys make plays for him. All right. They had a vertical passing game where guys went up and attacked the ball and made plays for him. He hasn't had a lot of help in that regard. I mean, there haven't been a lot of guys that have been making their own breaks at wideout for Clemson, and they did that. I look at this game as a bit of a kind of a toss-up because I think both teams are more than equipped to win the football game. But when you have quarterback play and you're going to be at home and you have that advantage and you're Devin Leary, you've got to go on the road. Again, defining moments for both of these quarterbacks because you could be looking at an ACC Atlantic title game here, a placement in that game off of the result of this game. So for me, it's all about DJ not regressing. He can't airmail the easy throws over open guys. He's got to take some shots when he's got a height advantage like he did last week. And then he's got to be smart with the football on the underneath throws. What I mean by that is don't throw the slant 4 yards above the target when he's open, get a tipped ball, and now it's intercepted. Those are the things that DJ has done in the past that he cannot do this week.
Yeah, I agree. All right, we're going to go to a little bit of a Booster Club question here. Zach Wilson said, Tom, he says you were spot on about the capability of the quarterback for Georgia Tech. Last week, he said lots of brilliance in the game last week, and they still shot themselves in the foot. And he wants to know, who do you think the next head coach will be at Georgia Tech?
It's a really good question, but it's a tough question to answer because I don't know if all the dominoes have fallen yet. You know, you fired Todd Stansberry, so obviously he would have been a part of selecting who the next head coach is. The powers that be, whether it's a board of regents or a board of trustees, the president of the university, keep in mind it's a very academic-oriented university. Obviously, football is the main revenue generator. But I wouldn't be surprised if they don't get an AD first and a coach second because how many coaches are going to be willing to come on board with an AD that did not select him.
Yep.
And so, listen, there's going to be guys like Jamie Chadwell that are going to come up. All right. A Bobby Petrino could be a sleeper horse, a sleeper name. You may not
Jeff
like
Lebby.
him,
What do you think about Jeff Lebby?
Jeff Lebby's another one. It is an attractive job because of where it resides, right? You've got athletes in every nook and cranny of the state. You do have distinct, the thing, and I say this off of personal experience, having played there. Yes, it's difficult to get into Georgia Tech. The problem is it's really difficult to stay in Georgia Tech. The curriculum is so difficult. And in recruiting in this day and age, I don't know how many kids are all that interested unless they're looking at a 40-year plan. You get all these high-profile guys, they all think they're going in the first round, right? They all think they're going to get drafted. Well, do those guys really want to focus on a curriculum that is just going to crush you throughout the time that you're in school? I don't know. I would probably say no. So the answer to the head coaching question may not come for a while, which isn't a bad thing, because I think it really gives them time to do their homework, peel back the layers, and really research who would be the right fit there. You can't fight against the academics. You have to embrace it. But I think you have to be a tireless grinder in recruiting to be able to weather that storm.
Well, I heard rumor has it over at Georgia Tech, y'all are putting math and science together. I don't know what happens when you do that, but apparently that's a thing over there.
It's called engineering when you do that.
That's why. I'm not good at. I'm not good at building engines, Tom.
How about this, guys? And I'm not exaggerating here. Regardless of what area of study you are in at Georgia Tech, and there's not much to choose from outside of engineering, every student is required to take not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 calculus classes in order to graduate.
Wow. They make 5? You can go up to 5?
I'm in pain.
5.
What happens on the 5th one? Do you just disappear? They teach you how to disappear?
Well, I think you just become a Mensa member.
Yeah, do you have to go to Tibet and hang out with a monk for 3 years?
You get inducted. It's rough.
That's wild. That's wild. All right, we got a question here for you. Travis Elrod, #AskTom. He said, has Houston been one of the biggest disappointments in college football this year?
Without question. They are a prime example of a football team that was unable to handle off-season hype, off-season expectations. They are the group of 5 version of North Carolina last year. It's exactly what they are. They bought into all of the press clippings. They bought into all of the hype. They looked at their schedule and they're like, okay, we got to avenge our one Texas Tech loss from a year ago, and we are golden. No Cincinnati, no UCF on the schedule. This could be an undefeated football team. They all bought into it. And anytime you do that, you start focusing on the wrong things. You lack focus. Maybe the work's not what it should be. The investment's not what it should be because you start to think you're on easy street. That was my adoptive preseason team. I'm like a parent that's been disappointed by a child that's done something.
You're not mad.
Well, at least you adopted them. You can just take them back to the orphanage.
That's a good point. Yeah, I'm not even taking back to the. I might just drop them on the corner.
Yes, all right. Well, Tom, don't tell us all your secrets. I'm sure there's a firehouse or something, fire station somewhere around there. You can just leave them in some basket unless they're 12 years old, and it's just going to take a bigger basket. But Tom, I know you said you're calling the Florida State Wake Forest game. We need to get to Cone's Get Off My Lawn, which is my favorite segment every week. We appreciate you, my friend. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Oh, let's see. ABC this week at 3:30 in the middle of a hurricane. So that's going to be enjoyable. We're hoping that we just get a little rain, a little wind by Saturday. We're hoping to get there. And, of course, at Tom Luginbill on Twitter and all throughout ESPN.com as well.
Tom, it's always fun to talk to you, my friend.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me. Have a great weekend.
Hey, you as well. All right, guys, if you like what you're watching, like what you're hearing, make sure you're subscribed to Crane & Company on our YouTube channel. Hit that like button as well on all the videos and turn that bell on for notifications every time we go live, each morning, each weekend. Everything's covered only on Crane & Company.